My name is Tracy Tim, and our company's name is Thrivist.
This is Diversified Game.
A podcast giving entrepreneurial advice from a diverse and inclusive perspective with Kellen.
He may agree, he may oppose, and it's more than just race, it's about, ideas.
So, let the game begin.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, people, I have all the way from Dallas, and she is a Texas native, Miss Tracy Tim, and she's going to give us the game on, career coaching and just how you can, better your life. I really want you guys after this interview to go check out her beautiful website and tap in for the services, because during COVID, this is your time to connect and become a better you. So Tracy, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. I'm doing awesome. We have been, you and I, going back and forth for ages trying to book this. So I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that when you're running 100 miles per hour. Not me, but you, because I'm stuck in this seat every day, just working and making sure my kids are doing their work inside. But give people the game on what do you do to make people better?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thanks for having me. Our whole business, Thrivist, is really focused on helping people become what we deem the definition of Thrivist to be, which is one who thrives in the simplest terms. We focus really heavily on career, helping people optimize their thrive-worthy career by figuring out their ideal professional working experience, as opposed to just sort of any professional working experience that they could get through or do reasonably well. And we really believe that if you can optimize your career and be delivering your best and highest value as a professional, that's the best opportunity for you to receive your best and highest value back from the work that you do. And that comes in many forms. So yeah, we're doing that for individuals. And then we also work with companies, which is a brand new business unit that we have, where we go in and we help different segments of a professional population tap into their ideal niche within their company or within their industry so that they can progress to positions of leadership and positions of influence in those companies.
So what do you think, holds a lot of people back? Because now, people are finding new careers in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, saying, I always wanted to do this, but I never had the option. What is what's yielding them from just doing and being unstoppable, like your book, teaches them?
God, I mean, unfortunately, I think there's a handful of things that hold most people back. First and foremost, the thing that we always come across that will mask itself in many different forms is fear. I would say the number one thing holding the majority of us back from moving forward is fear in some capacity. Fear masquerading as confusion, fear masquerading as a limiting belief, fear masquerading as holding on to a comfort zone that you have, even if it's wildly uncomfortable. I talk to so many people who stick around in jobs that they barely tolerate, and in some cases are miserable going to, and that are making them sick or stressed. And they think that that's the standard, and that deviating from that standard is terrifying, because what if what I choose to do is worse? Or what if I do all this work and nobody picks me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if I go out on a limb and I might as well have just stayed where I was? Fear is the number one thing holding people back. And then when we peel back the layers and you kind of can get through that mindset and get to a much more positive mindset, then it just becomes, I think for most of us, a lack of clarity and a lack of awareness as to not only what our best value and our deepest value is, but then where and how that actually applies in the professional world.
Now that fear, talk about so people can kind of, when they go to Amazon and see your very highly rated book, Unstoppable, how did you get over your own fears? Because one thing to get over your own fears and then to be able to teach others. So give us the game on that.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you again for mentioning the book. I'm really proud of it. It was, it looks as though it was the product of about 18 months worth of work, but really it was like 10 years of struggle and study and practice. I think the best way to get over fear for yourself is to practice challenging your fears in small ways over and over and over and over again. Like the best example, Kellen, is that recently I saw this really good looking guy at a restaurant and he was with a bunch of other people. And I was like, well, I might as well just see if he's single because I'm going to regret maybe for maybe not my whole life, but maybe at least the rest of the day or another week if I don't actually go and say hi to this person, because what if they're my, what if they're my dream person? And so I literally just went up to the guy and I whispered in his ear, like, hey, can I ask you a quick question? He said, sure. I said, are you single? He said, no. And I said, okay, cool. Have a great day. If you had said something different, this conversation would have gone differently. And he said, oh, okay. And I walked away. Right. But the crazy thing is if you challenge yourself in small ways over and over and over again, you build up the muscle of tolerating fear when it comes in bigger, bigger moments, right? Bigger, higher stakes moments. But the way really that I first and foremost started to tap into, I'm not fearless by any means. I really think I ascribe to the belief that courage is not the absence of fear, but the deeming that something else is more important than what you're afraid of. And when I first started my career, I was working on Wall Street. Right out of school, had a job that most people, I would say, in our society would deem very successful. I was paid very well. I had sort of the accolades and all the great benefits that would go along with a job like that, car service and travel benefits and a credit card, all that stuff that we think is sort of the shiny stuff of having succeeded. And I was a miserable, stressed, anxious wreck for 2.5 years. It was just a bundle of nerves all the time. And quitting that job was the first step forward for me in overcoming my fears. But there were many, many, many steps after that.
Now, talk about the fear of just even being accepted, because we're living in a time, it's like Black Mirror season 3, episode 1, where if you're not accepted, you don't get to go in even to your job. And here you are pushing career building. And as a woman, and being a single woman and even being on Instagram, my gosh, you're not doing the splits. Every angle is not catching every curve and this and that. The fear of being accepted as a woman in today's time right now. I mean, I try to tell my daughters every day, don't worry about people accepting you at all. How do you deal with that? Because I think a lot of folks can get, the game and say, oh, I can be myself, actually. I don't have to be a walking model.
Wow. So I think a lot of my ability to accept things or move past things comes from having a depth of understanding of why we feel that way in the first place. So I studied psychology in college. One of the core things that we learned immediately was that human beings are hardwired to want to be accepted because of evolutionary biology. Right? Imagine you and me, hundreds of thousands of years ago, and it's us versus a saber-toothed tiger. We have a much better chance of killing it if we work together than if you are judging me and I'm judging you and we don't accept each other and we try to fight it alone. And we are hardwired for community and for sociability and for acceptance because of survival. So if you think about it like that, and then you fast forward to today, you being accepted no longer has to do with your basic survival, right? If somebody doesn't like my Instagram post, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger tomorrow. So that helps me sort of dial back my natural reaction to things, because you could tell your girls this, it is natural to want to be accepted by others. It's natural, and we are hardwired to want to live in community and belong. That is one of the core basic desires of being a human being, and it's built into our psychology. But the stakes just aren't as high as they used to be. And the other great thing is there's more people in the world than there ever were before. So if you're not accepted by one teeny tiny group over here that judges one way, there's a great chance that you're going to be